Good afternoon. It's Midday live from our news hub here at Adesawe Kanda. I am Wendy Lai. The headlines for this afternoon. Media General, Lifestyle and Housing Fair enters final day today. Minister for Planning, Professor Jan Bafo, says government is committed to transforming National Road Safety Commission into a regulatory body. Dongu Kuko Municipal Assembly Basic School in Tamale yet to receive dual desk for classes 6 years after construction. And on the international front, Nigeria's president vows to close loopholes which allowed militants to reportedly kill dozens of soldiers at a base in northeastern Borno State. We've got details of these stories and many more lined up this afternoon. Please do stay. Let's start now. When exhibitors at the Media General, Lifestyle and Housing Fair have expressed their satisfaction about the event as it enters day 2, they are hopeful of massive sales today.
The Housing and Lifestyle Fair by Media General and Planet One Media is a second edition held at the Aviation Social Center. It's brought together over 50 exhibitors from all parts of the country, providing an opportunity for the public to choose from a wide array of household items and products. Products on display included hardware, electricals, household items, energy efficiency equipment, among others. Some of the exhibitors could not hide their joy about the success of the event.
A lot of people have been coming in and have been showing interest also in the products also. So they've promised to call, okay, and then visit our showroom too.
People, a lot of consumers who've been here who expressed interest about what we're doing, and then we've also done our part, give them the advices they need, the tips they need, and then I think so far it's been an experience. It's been great.
The past 2 days, I think publicity has been impressive. I'm believing that tomorrow we'll have a lot of people to visit our stands and then also to be informed of the products and things that we sell.
I think so far so good. I believe that we had a very good patronize. We hope that tomorrow will be another day, hoping that people can come after church to come and patronize. We have very good product here.
They are hopeful of high patronage on the final day, Sunday.
Sunday after church, they will troop in, and that's what we want to see, because we want to promote our products. And of course, that's what we are expecting.
I'm hoping to see a lot of people coming here and coming to our stand.
Tomorrow, I just hope shoppers or people would troop in whereby we can actually sell to them the brand and all that. Yeah.
We have reduced price. They should come over with the little that they have. They will still get something to buy. So we are expecting them.
The kids were not left out as they...
So remember, it's happening at the Aviation Social Center. Do pass through us. Today is the last day for the Lifestyle and Housing Fair. You're still watching Midday Live. To other stories, we focus on education now. And the Dongu Kuko Municipal Assembly Basic School in Tamale, the northern region, is yet to receive dual decks for classes after 6 years of its construction. Inadequate decks at the school is negatively affecting the teaching and learning as pupils continue to take lessons lying down during teaching hours. Here's a report by Zubaida Ismail.
Constructed in 2012, enrollment has shot up from about 30 pupils to 123 pupils, made up of 59 boys and 64 girls. The school runs 8 classes, Nursery 1 and 2 and Basic 1 to Basic 6. However, the 8 classes are run in 3 classroom blocks, operating the multi-grade system. Basics 1 and 2 are combined in 1 classroom, while Basics 3 and 4 and Basic 5 and 6 are also being combined in 2 separate classrooms. The headmistress office currently accommodates KG2, while KG1 pupils study here. The school practices the multi-grading system, even though the Ghana Education Service policy frowns on it.
We reported the situation to the District Assembly 3 years ago, but we're yet to receive a response from them. That's why we are appealing to people to assist.
The school, after construction in 2012, was furnished with about 100 dual discs before it was handed over to the Tamale Metro Education Service. 6 years on, this is what has become of the desk. The situation has forced pupils to kneel during lessons. A school management committee member says the KG1 and 2 pupils used to be accommodated under a shed. This is the debris of a shed that accommodated pupils of Nursery 1 and 2 of the school. It fell after a heavy downpour here in Tamale. Parents are asking for help to at least raise this shed so that pupils that are staying on the verandas of this structure will have a conducive place to enhance teaching and learning.
And still on education, but away from the northern region, the surge in poverty at Quay, a community in the Wutsu Senior District of the Central Region, has compelled some parents to engage their children in the gari-making business. Other children's woes are compounded by the non-existence of a school in the community.
It's a sunny afternoon in the community of Quay. Some residents are enjoying the afternoon breeze after an early morning's field work. Few women are, however, home processing gari. Most residents' livelihood is dependent on gari processing. This is usually done after farmers do not find buyers for their cassava. The Quay community is located about 10 kilometers from Odotom and has no educational facility. Only the strong are able to defy their problems to trek to school in nearby communities. For this family, their survival is solely dependent on the gari business. Fatih Mahmoud, a kindergarten 2 pupil, is the 5th of 6 children. She is 6 years old, but her mother has already introduced her to gari processing, and so she does not regularly go to school. Fatih has quickly grasped the gari making process, and so she has become acquainted with the smoke. Nothing will deter her from abandoning what she knows how to do best, as this is what sustains them. As young as she is, her dream for education is virtually fading as she receives no encouragement from parents. Her mother rather claims attempts to persuade her to go back to school has failed.
I always encourage my children to go to school, but I request them to help me after school. I cannot deny them education.
She said prices of commodities has dropped, so getting enough money to meet the educational needs of her children has been difficult. Healthcare is not sought for after the daily encounter with heavy smoke. The future of little Fatih hangs in the balance, with her future education plans unclear.
We'll bring you some more stories on education later, but let's move on to some others. And Director of Academic Affairs at the Ghana Armed Forces and Staff Command College, Professor Vladimir Introdanso, says the police service must work to change what he calls the trigger-happy nature of its personnel. He spoke on TV3's news analysis program, The Key Point, on Saturday in response to government statements to indicate the 7 persons killed at Manson Kwanta were not robbers.
The committee set up to investigate the death of the 7 persons involved in the Manson Kwanta shooting incident found there were no facts to establish that the deceased persons were armed robbers who engaged in exchange of fire with the police. The killings on July 17, 2018 triggered outrage and anger in Zongo communities in Kumasi. Residents and relatives insisted on the innocence of the 7. A 7-member committee was subsequently set up after days of protest over the killings. The committee completed its work and submitted its report to Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia in September 2018. A statement signed by Information Minister Kojo Oponkroma on Monday, November 19, said government, upon a careful study of the report, had decided that the 21 police personnel involved in the incident should be interdicted by the police administration and subjected to formal police criminal investigation. The statement added that, in the interim, government, in consultation with the families and community leaders, will provide support for dependents of the deceased persons. Speaking on the key points, Director of Academic Affairs at the Ghana Armed Forces and Staff Command College, Professor Vladimir Enchidanso, questioned the way the police operates, calling for a change.
Those persons who are at the scene to look for the culprits could have had this psychology that it could have been me, so let me work. But the trigger happiness, is something we must work on very seriously. In Canada, in the US, and several other places, the training involves pressurizing the person to the point where he needs to do something, but they will hardly pull the trigger. Has the society here been able to have such a situation where the policeman is not trigger happy, when the policeman doesn't feel that because of the uniform and because of the gun he is wielding, he is superior to the incident, he is superior to the person he's talking to?
The National Network Coordinator of the West African Network for Peace Building, WANEP, who also appeared on the program, tasked personnel to ensure their actions reflect their name change from police force to police service.
The orientation of the police has been that of militarism. Now, and they were even trained by the military group. Now, it was a police force, and the force meant a military group. Now, we became a service. That change of name or nomenclature has not affected the orientation of the actions of the police themselves. So it's been carried away. Now, the other thing is about how they see the law and suspects. Now, very often, when someone commits an offense or is seen to be committing an offense, so you see that they approach you with violence, even when they question you. Normal police procedures on the road, they ask you a question and as if you are already wrong.
Meanwhile, another panelist on the show, Edmond Foley, who is head of Public Law Department at GIMPA, said the service must ensure it conducts proper investigations when events occur.
You recovered weapons from some place, right? And you say there was fire. Your investigations need to establish, even after you have shot these people, that the fire came from them. You see, so for you to conclude every time you shoot people that they are the ones who shot you is a bit problematic. Because after the incident, we still expect them to investigate. The fact that you have even shot somebody who shot at you does not conclude the investigation.
Government, in the statement, also assured the general public that due process will be followed in the pursuit of justice and called for continued calm and patience pending a conclusive determination of the matter.
Remember when you used to wait for the 6 o'clock news to know what was happening across the country and globally? Well, the introduction of social media has changed the game. In the following report, Natalie Ford explores the impact of new media on television viewership.
Today, Ghana is a land of the future, and Accra, its capital, a fine modern city.
It is clear a lot has changed since the introduction of new media. Content producers are increasingly taking advantage of platforms such as Netflix, Twitter, Facebook and Instagram to reach their audience. Currently, news breaks on social media sites such as Twitter and is later consumed via online news broadcast. Early in the 1920s, television became available as a telecommunication medium, used for transmitting moving images in monochrome or in color, and in 2 or 3 dimensions and sound. Over the years, television has served as mass medium for education, information, and entertainment. With the introduction of new media as a means of mass communication using digital technologies such as the internet, television viewership has dropped. President of the Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association, GIBA, Andrew Danso Eninkra is warning media owners, regulators and training institutions to embrace the new trend or risk collapse.
The lawmakers, let us begin to think ahead and to think of what regulations we have to put in place to embrace the new trend that is coming, to make sure that at least the trend is either we find space in the trend or the trend finds space in our setup. Training institutions. Unfortunately, we rely on books that have been written already. But if we could also rely on our research materials, what the research is talking about, if you're able to research into the future and have documentation on the future, what is going to happen, and start talking about them today, it prepares us for tomorrow.
He fears advertisers will increasingly be driven to advertise via new media platforms, which could affect revenue flow of traditional media companies.
The threat that we see often is in the form of advertising revenue, and whether the advertising revenue will come to what we call the traditional broadcaster or to go to the new trend broadcaster. See, the point is this: if you're embracing the new trend into the traditional, the advertising revenue will not be lost. At any point in time, you can marry the two and be able to get what you need.
Social media manager at Media General Limited, Lexis Kofi Amate, said his television viewing has reduced drastically over the years.
I don't remember the last time I put a TV in my room on. I watch a lot of stuff on Netflix and Amazon, and for all the shows that are on TV, I probably get them on YouTube as well. So my consumption of content on TV has gone down the drain over the last few years. The way to go is for you to keep some of your premium content on TV, make them available for paid-for content where people can pay and watch for those contents on the internet.
With a new wave of media consumption, driven by internet, taking place at lightning speed, it is clear today's media giants will have to put to practice the quote, "Innovate or die." Natalie Fort, TV3 News, Accra.
And the first runner for GMB, that's Ghana's Most Beautiful 2017, Baba Boche, has taken her mental health campaign to Tema. She organized a sensitization program for students at the Chemu Senior High School.
Baba, who has consistently articulated her aspiration of becoming a mental health advocate, could not waste the opportunity to engage citizens outside her region on the need to abide by doctors' advice in administering medicines. She took her campaign to churches and markets within the Tama municipality after engaging her kinsmen in the central region.
Basically, it's just to help our young people or adolescents to have access to mental health information so that they will be able to make good decisions for themselves as they are growing up and become very responsible adults in future.
The campaign saw her make stops at the SOS International Junior High School and ended at the Chemu Senior High School, where she educated students on substance abuse.
Aside some problems they encounter from home, that is not getting the love and support from their parents, in school too they are having some challenges, to the extent that some of them are being bullied and teased at school, which goes a long way to affect their self-esteem.
Psych Health Ghana was launched in June 2018 and has since created awareness about mental health and stress management among workers. At Tema SOS Junior High School, Baba encouraged pupils to be on the lookout for some possible symptoms of mental instability among themselves. Some students shared their experiences.
She taught me that to be mentally healthy, you should be able to relate to everybody well. Even though you're an introvert, you should be able to talk to everybody, not have a close relationship, but be able to socialize with everybody around you.
A mentally healthy person is someone who is psychologically stable. And I think that everyone should take importance in mental health because it can go a long way to benefit us.
Residents of Adenta Animal Research have vowed to chase out politicians who would come to seek their vote in 2020 if their roads are not fixed. Now, they say they have been left out of the development agenda of government.
We are at Adenta Animal Research, and this is the nature of the roads. Residents say their life are at risk anytime it rains and they are calling on authorities to fix the road.
For years, the road has been in a deplorable state. Residents say attempts to get the attention of authorities to fix the road have yielded no results. School children are unable to go to school anytime it rains. Flood water from Ebri also ran directly into their homes whenever it rains. On this particular stretch, the community members have constructed a wooden bridge which serves as a walkway for them.
2020, say, ababi na yentu mom. Ye dey say dey be some antima anye gota anye kwan no mo bi antwa kwan say oba say vote bia.
Using this stretch is unbearable anytime it rains. If authorities do not fix the road, we will advise ourselves in 2020. The youth in the area are not happy. If they don't fix our roads, we won't vote. Whenever it rains, people stand here to carry others at a fee of 1 Ghana cedis. We are pleading with government to fix our roads.
And yes, I brothers know the Omato Srohono. Almost say yan canon colahu. Until so no say a canon colahu dia. Ombomodia non daninichi and shehanso. No who say so yebre.
I have problem
I wish it had rained before your coming. We are unable to access our homes anytime it rains. We won't vote in 2020 if the road is not fixed.
No road, no votes.
They want the Ministry of Roads and Highway to fix the road. Bridget Mate, TV3, Adenta, Accra.
The Minister for Planning, Professor John Bafo, says government is committed to transforming the National Road Safety Commission into a regulatory body. Speaking at the Ghana Driver and Road Safety Awards, he said that this will ensure the enforced compliance through road safety measures and policies.
The Ghana Driver and Road Safety Awards has been a regular event since 2010. The ceremony serves as a platform to award and recognize best road safety practices.
It is obvious that existing capacity and operational gaps hinder significant results, and government is committed to address these gaps by spearheading the transformation of the National Road Safety Commission into a regulatory body with an improved mandate to ensure compliance to road safety measures, procedures, and policies.
Executive Director of National Road Safety Commission, Engineer May Obriyebua, noted the mandate of the commission was being reviewed to be more effective.
I'm happy to report that with the support of the Minister of Transport, work has progressed significantly on it, and soon that expectation will be fulfilled. With the reviewed mandate, the Commission should be in a position to exact obedience to the implementation of road safety standards, procedures, and processes for the larger public good.
Minister for Transport, Quay urged stakeholders to adhere to best practices on the roads.
We have a duty to ensure that in addition to attracting and retaining competent drivers, we must ensure that standards that improve the quality of vehicles through proper maintenance regime and institutional controls against speeding, fatigue driving, substance abuse, among others, are introduced and enforced.
Moses Osei, a 43-year-old Ayalulu driver, was adjudged the overall best driver 2018 and was awarded a Suzuki Alto car.
You're still watching Midday Live. Do stay with us. We have more shortly. Thanks for staying. Let's do business now. And Telecom Analyst have ruled out any possibility of Ghana signing onto a 5G license anytime soon, considering most telcos have struggled acquiring the existing 4G spectrum. 5G is a proposed next telecommunication standards that will provide better speed and coverage than the current 4G. Alfredo Kansi has more.
The National Communications Authority has taken steps to ensure that at least each telco gets into the 4G space. As a first step, the NCA released a roadmap for the sale of the remaining spectrum slot in the 800 MHz band that was left after MTN bought one for $67.5 million in December 2015. The whole process is expected to be completed by December 23, 2018. Meanwhile, 4G is about to lose its superiority as 5G is already here. Super-fast 5th generation mobile internet promises download and browsing speeds 10 to 20 times faster than we have now. Elsewhere in the world, 5G has been tested extensively.
This is a demonstration for the 5G connected car. We demonstrate the type of connections where the car can communicate with other cars. So it's a vehicle to vehicle, vehicle to pedestrians, and vehicle to infrastructure. The augmented reality here in Saudi Arabia, Riyadh. So the vehicle, basically the vehicle will communicate with the other cars and with the like intersections, traffic lights, with also the smartphones. So the vehicle will be moving by itself. It's autonomous driving. You just sit and enjoy the ride. That's it.
And this is augmented reality. That's what I see.
Yeah, it's augmented reality.
Here in Ghana, not much improvement in terms of customer experience and revenue for telcos has been seen from 4G. As millions of Ghanaians have been denied the 4G experience, the question remains whether telcos in Ghana will invest in the 5G mobile internet technology.
Some more business stories, and Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta says the assignment of 10,000 officers from the Nation Builders Corps to the Ghana Revenue Authorities to boost efforts to mobilize more money domestically. The recruits will form a key part of the collection process, even as government begins work towards achieving its vision of a Ghana beyond aid. He said this at a post-budget forum by auditing firm PricewaterhouseCoopers.
As part of strategies to enhance revenue mobilization, the Ghana Revenue Authority has been assigned 10,000 officers from the Nation Builders Corps, NAPCO, who will be deployed to support the implementation of measures and strategies to improve tax compliance and block revenue loopholes. As to how productivity will be measured, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta says the GRA would have to put measures in place to justify the expenditure for NAPCO recruits. He was speaking at a post-budget forum organized by auditing firm PwC.
We have 10,000 NAPCO people who are joining the GRA revenue force, and therefore we're going to have programs like a VAT attack, border controls with drones, a data room where we can see what's happening everywhere. Audit teams, very specialized, to interrogate the numbers that we get. And therefore, if I live at Laboni, then I have a house in East Legon, the past 5 years or 6 years, I must be able to prove how I made that income.
This is also part of measures to expand the tax net.
Corporate Affairs Manager of the West African Gas Pipeline Company, Harriet Rekubrobe, is suggesting targeted training and skills development programs to develop a pool of expertise to make residents of industrial hubs competitive for job openings. She was reacting to recent agitations from youth of Abuadze and Abuesi over lack of employment within the Abuadze Power Enclave in the Western region.
The Abuadze and Abuesi communities in the Shama district of the Western region have been up in arms for the past 2 years against companies operating in the Abuadze Power Enclave demanding for employment. This year alone, the youth of Abuadze have staged 5 demonstrations demanding to be employed. However, operators of the power stations maintain the nature of the work requires highly skilled and also lean workforce. Harriet Rekubrobe is the Corporate Affairs Manager of the West African Gas Pipeline Company.
It's a very sensitive thing. So you don't want to bring people who are not qualified. So we need to pick the best. We are encouraging them to become qualified. That's why we are even helping them to get trained.
Assembly member for Abuadze Peaceful Beidou, who has been at the forefront of demands for employment, dismissed the excuse of lack of competent people from within the community.
We have people who can do and do better than what they are doing now. So they should give her opportunity. The skills are learned where? It's learned on the field. So if you give her the person opportunity to learn on the field, he will improve upon it.
The corporate affairs manager of the West African Gas Pipeline Company suggested helping residents acquire economic generating ventures to create employment. The West African Gas Pipeline Company recently gave 55 youth of Shama startup kits valued at 200,000 Ghana cedis after they completed an apprenticeship program.
That's all for business. Let's focus on health. And the Princess Marie Louis Children's Hospital in Accra requires $600,000 to renovate and expand its X-ray and laboratories. Peter Quay Adato reports that the 92-year-old health facility leaks and has several structural defects requiring urgent and comprehensive renovation.
The Princess Marie Louis or Children's Hospital is the first ever pediatric hospital in Ghana. It was built in 1926 to cater for the needs of maternal and child health care delivery. Current disease prevalence include infectious diseases, malaria and upper respiratory tract infections. But the facility, which attracts daily outpatient attendance of between 200 and 300, is affected with numerous challenges. Parts of the roof of the Children's Hospital leak badly, according to managers of the facility. The hospital also requires urgent rewiring. The walls have developed deep cracks from top to base, a situation some health workers describe as a time bomb. The expansion and improvements to the X-ray and laboratories are estimated at $600,000. Yet, a campaign by management 2 years ago has been unable to attract any significant amount towards its renovation.
It's been very difficult, so in the coming year we really want to put more intensity to it and go and lobby for a lot of funds. We also need to change our theatre equipment because since we opened the theatre it's been over 5 years and the equipment are beginning to have problems. So it's time for us to phase them out and have new ones.
Another challenge is the growing number of patients unable to pay for their treatment. At least 5 cases are recorded on a daily basis, becoming a burden on the meager income of the hospital.
Some will be on the ward, some on the OPD basis. We give them to the social welfare. They go and come back and it looks like there's nothing that you can do about it. And you can't continually keeping them in the hospital, you have to leave them to go.
The Children's Hospital again lacks some essential equipment, including wheelchairs. Parents, we were told, have to lift their patients to and from wards for treatment. But the intervention from Universal Hospital Group has reduced this burden.
So that's why we brought these items. We couldn't come out with everything, but at least what we have brought them today, they can utilize each one of them to help the community.
The group has also donated medicals and other essentials to the hospital. Authorities were grateful for the gesture and appealed for more support.
More on healthcare. A self-help maternity clinic, which started 2 years ago at Alavanyo, has stalled due to the lack of funds and the withdrawal of communal labor by residents. Paramount Queen of Alavanyo traditional area, Mamaga Ameto, under whose initiative the project began, expressed disappointment over the turn of events.
Almost century-old conflicts between the Alavanyo and Nkonya traditional areas has not only brought untold hardship to the people, but has also taken a toll on delivery of health care. The only health center in the community lacks the needed equipment and staff to cater for maternal and child mortality cases. Residents have to travel to either Hohoi or Pando to access health care. This compelled the Queen mother to start the construction of a maternity home to ensure quality health care and safe delivery for pregnant women. The project, which started 2 years ago, was at lintel level when the community stopped providing labor, coupled with lack of funds to complete the project. Mama Ameto is a paramount queen of Alavanyu traditional area.
I am appealing to the people of Alavanyu that it's not the government always. It's we, the people, who have to do it before the government have to come in. Let's build our town. This is our motherland. This is our soil. Let's come and build it up.
Meanwhile, a fundraising dinner has been organized in Ho to raise funds to complete the project. The event was poorly attended and the needed amount of 96,746 was not realized. The Queen of Ho Dome, Mama Atrato, has called on benevolent organizations to help complete the project. The project, when completed, would have a delivery room, labor ward, recovery room, consulting room, and a storeroom.
Now to education, and the Kumasi Technical University is expanding infrastructure to accommodate the first batch of beneficiaries of the free senior high school program. The university says it is prepared to play a part in achieving government's objective of ensuring every qualified Ghanaian child gets access to quality education.
The Kumasi Technical University is expanding lecture theatres, laboratories, halls of residence and increasing other resources like vehicles and furniture. The expansion drive is happening at the main city campus and the Adakojache campus. Acting Vice Chancellor Professor Esiama Yeboah says the infrastructure expansion is in anticipation of increased enrollment when first batch of students of the free senior high school policy graduate.
So the idea of even building that 4-story lecture house is that we just want to take advantage of the president's flagship program, the free SHS. You know, just last week we matriculated over 4,000 students, even without this free SHS. So you can imagine next year or two when these free SHS graduates come out.
The first batch of free senior high school graduates are expected to tertiary institutions in the year 2020.
We have sports next with Thierry. Do stay. And many people often wish to have different things as their birthday gifts. Well, for Erica Tando, popularly known as DJ Swish, a brand new Range Rover would not be bad at all for her 12th birthday in December.
DJ Switch thrilled audience at the All Africa Music Awards held at the Accra International Conference Center on Saturday with a show of dexterity on the turntable. The world's wonder also wowed audience with her dance moves. Erica would turn 11 years in December, and we ask what would be the perfect gift for her.
So now you are 10 years old, yes? When are you turning 11?
Sorry?
When are you turning 11? When are you going to be 11 years
12
old?
December.
This year. What do you want for your birthday? Tell them all. We'll get it.
I want a Range Rover.
The young DJ urged her fellow children to exhibit their talents wherever they find themselves, no matter the challenges they may face.
A lot of young people who think you're very bold and who think you're very strong. You are talking to 54 countries across the continent of Africa. I want you to look at red dot on the top, and I want you to speak to young children across the continent. Say something to the DJ Switch.
Okay, I want to tell all children across the continent that they should try and tell their parents that, Mommy, Daddy, I have a talent. If you're a young kid and you think you don't have a talent, it's a lie. God created each and everyone with a talent. And as I'm talking right now, maybe you may not have parents, but it's maybe difficult for you to bring out your talent. You can maybe stand out there, not to play or show your talent to get money, but just to play your talent, show it out there so that maybe someone can help you.
And that's DJ Switch for you. Some more entertainment news. In the 2018 AFRIMA held at the Accra International Conference Center on Saturday saw 6 Ghanaian musicians, Sarkodie Manifest, Shatawale, Stone Boy, Kitty, Guilty Beats, and Kwame Eugene pick up top awards. Now, Akwaba by Guilty Beats, Mr. Easy, Patapa, and Papi Kojo bagged 2 of the topmost awards. On that note, we say congratulations to them, and that'll be all for this afternoon on Midday Live. I am Wendy Lai. We'll bring you some more updates on News 360. And remember, the Lifestyle and Housing Fair is currently ongoing at the Aviation Social Center. Today is the last day, so don't miss the opportunity to pass through. I'm Wendy Lai. Thanks for watching.